What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. We are back here for yet another one. I appreciate all of you for tuning in on this, well, at least up here, this brisk October night. Odd, eh? You know, you always notice Friday, October the 13th, but we missed it by one day. Friday, October 14th. I appreciate all of you for tuning in as we get prepared for the Vikings. We got a lot to talk about. Guys, please do me the biggest favor in the world as you're coming in, as you're watching. Smash that like button. I know, I'm not one of those people that sits up here and really begs for donations. You know, I'll cordially ask if videos that a lot of time went into got demonetized, but I always ask, smash that like button, man. Subscribe if you're new. You know, just smashing the like button. Hey, it goes a long way. And hey, if you do want to donate, you can do so through PayPal, paypal.com/Finside. Everything is above me. Visit FinsideTheNFL.com for merchandise. You can donate through the super chat. Hey, paypal.me/Finside is how you can donate through PayPal. You can become a Finside member or a Finside Patreon. You get access to inside info in the community tab if you're a member, or right on the Patreon page if you're a Patreon. Patreon.com/FinsideTheNFL, or you can go smash the join button down below right next to the subscribe button and you can become a member. Either way, hey, if you want to do as much as you can by joining the Patreon or becoming a member or donating, I appreciate it. But all I ask is the little that it takes in terms of smashing that like button, man. That's it. Just do that little bit of smashing that like button. Help me out. I appreciate each and every one of you. Man, kind of a crazy up and down week. I mean, Teddy and Tua are practicing in full today. I fully expect Teddy to get cleared. Tua is going to be cleared for the Steelers game. I had a Patreon and a YouTube channel member update this week, and basically I was told there was almost almost no chance that Tua was playing this week and that they were aiming for the Steelers game. Looks like that came to fruition. I know it was on the table. I know it was talked about. Another interesting thing, again, I don't know if I talked about this on the finish line or we just dropped a new episode, me and Neil Driscoll. You can see in the link down below, me and Neil just dropped a new episode of Fin Too Deep. I want to say it was on one of those two shows. Anyways, from everything I was told, when we were 3-0 heading into this trade deadline, we were gearing up to be major players at this trade deadline. And I don't know how that's changed. I mean, we still got till the beginning of November here, but we're going to have to start, rifling off some wins. You're 5-2 heading into the trade deadline. I mean, it makes sense, but we're going to have to start rifling off some wins here. It's going to have to start this week. And, I know a lot of people aren't giving, and I have talked about this on multiple different shows. For some reason, people aren't giving Skylar Snowball's chance in hell. And, I just don't agree with that. Even Neil, he just thinks we don't stand a chance. And listen, if our defense does their job against their weapons, Skylar put us in a position where we were a field goal away from going up by a point. Listen, do I think this guy's going to go out there and throw for 400 yards, 300? No. But with a week of game planning, with him at least getting somewhat acclimated to the game speed, listen, we're going to, just the game plan is so simple. And when we go over the offensive and defensive keys, we'll go over it. But it's so simple, this game plan. It's so simple. Get the run game going and lean on it. Predicate the pass off the run. Get the run game going. That's it. Offensively and defense needs to do their job. We get that. We're good. We're in the game. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to win, but we're in the game. And, hey, we used to play a team in high school twice a year on our schedule, and they had, they were purple, white, and black, so kind of similar colors to the Vikings minus the yellow. And, we used to call them the Purple People Eaters, and here we go. We got the Purple People Eaters this Sunday. And, the good thing is we're at home. I'm not going to sit here and listen. We're going to go over my prediction and everything at the end, which I've been missing the past couple weeks for some reason. I don't know why, but we'll go over my prediction and everything like that. I think it's unfair to say we don't have a chance. You know what I mean? I really do. Now, in terms of trade targets, I said this on Fin Too Deep. I'll say it again. Again, go check out Fin Too Deep. It's in the description below. Target Carolina. Now I heard there's rumors that Brian Burns is on the block. Cool. Ogba's contract, unless we're moving it back, that can't happen. My whole thing is go target Bradley Bozeman and Taylor Moton. You got a right tackle and a center staring you right in the face over there. Listen, I know, hey, they might not want to kick Connor back to guard, but you can go get Bradley Bozeman, who was a starter in Baltimore, and you can make him your starter, kick Connor to left guard, Armstead's at left tackle, Hunt's at right guard, and Taylor Moton's at right tackle. And I'm going to tell you how to make that work. I'm giving up the San Francisco first, guys. Guys, that pick's going to be in the mid-20s. That pick's going to be in the 20s. What are we... Come on, man. Are you going to get it? And apparently they only want a second rounder for Taylor Moton. But even still, if they want a first, let's say they want a first, they're squeezing us. We're getting the 20s. We're talking. Are you going to get a player in the 20s better than Taylor Moton, top 5 right tackle in NFL? It's a fire sale. I don't think the only guy on that line that's untouchable is Ike Mekwonu, who they just drafted. That's what I'm saying. You got guys, if we listen, I know people want a corner. I know people, are infatuated with Brian Burns. Guys, you saw what our offense was already doing. You go get Taylor Moton and Bradley Bozeman and shore this up for the run. I just gave you guys a top 15 line in the NFL. And what's crazy is Carolina is one of the few teams that has legitimate depth at the center position. I'm just saying. And Taylor Moton is locked in. This guy's locked in for another 3 or 4 years. And I would trade Gesicki back because he's going to turn into a third for them or whatever. And give them another second. Or if they want to twist your arm for a first, and we got to give a first in Gesicki for Taylor Moton, this Bradley Bozeman, and like a third or a fourth. Man, I'm considering it, bro. Because Moton is locked down. Eichenberg ain't even going to get you a bag of footballs right now, FYI. Hey, if we got to trade Gesicki in a second, and the whole caveat with Gesicki is, okay, sure, you got to pay him this year, but that cap comes off your books at the end of this year, and you can turn him into a third-round compensatory pick. So then, Taylor Moton is our right tackle. Look at our bookend tackles, Taylor Moton and Teron Armstead. Puh. Connor Williams, Bradley Bozeman, and Robert Hunt in the interior. Guys, holy. I would overpay for that. You know what our offense will do? You know what our run game will do? Jackson can be a swing. Eichenberg can be a swing. These guys go into a swing role. Now all of a sudden we got depth too, eh? We got Little depth. We got Jackson depth. I mean, if you want to consider Eichenberg depth, sure, but he's a bench warmer. He should be. This guy does not belong right now. All of a sudden, by those two moves, you got depth too. And then you got Dieter. You got Connor, who can play center if you need him. Hell, you want to just go get Taylor Moton for a second-round pick, go do that, and then throw Austin Jackson at left guard and keep Connor Williams at center. I'm fine with that too. That's the move, man. That's the move, man. That's a team you can pluck from right now. And remember, he just signed last offseason. If you go back and see my offseason video last year of, my top 10 free agent targets and honorable mentions, Taylor Moton was like in the top 3 of that list. I had some all 22 of him absolutely dominating people. Like he dominated Joey Bosa. I had some good all 22 of them that in that video too. If you want to go back and watch it, it's from not this offseason, but the prior offseason when he was a free agent before he re-upped. I mean, hey, let's go. And then you don't got to give up the first. There you go. People's Bijan Robinson agendas can live on. I got to tell you though, we talked about it on the show yesterday too. Y'all got to pay attention. Everyone watching running backs, you got to pay attention to Jahmyr Gibbs right now out of Alabama. There's some good running backs. Tank Bigsby's in this class too. There's some good running backs, but Jahmyr Gibbs right now, I know everyone's just talking about Bijan Robinson, and I was talking about them all in the offseason and even last year, so I'm to blame for that. But Jahmyr Gibbs, if you haven't checked out Jahmyr Gibbs from Alabama, that kid is just crazy right now. That kid is crazy right now, man. So, some good running backs. Tank Bigsby's good. There's some good running backs in this class. There's some good running backs. So, yeah, I actually like this running back class. There's some decent tackles too actually coming out now that the class is starting to come together and everyone is looking good. Now I know everyone's a little underwhelmed by the quarterback class, but I'm a fan of a few players in this quarterback class. But I mean, hey, there's some guys coming out, right? You got, like we said, we've talked about Robinson out of Texas, Gibbs out of Bama. Who else we got? We talked about Bigsby out of Auburn. Sean Tucker out of Syracuse is a kid to watch. I talked about him last year, but out of UCLA, Zach Charbonnet, he's another one that people should really pay attention to. This is actually a really good running back class. It really is. You got Zach Evans coming out, Mo Ibrahim coming out of Minnesota, Kendall Milton out of Georgia, Eric Gray, Blake Corrin. Like there's some good running backs in this class, man. Anyways, don't even hate on Levis. Watch. Levis is gonna be that dude at the next level. I mark my words. Levis is gonna be that dude. Watch. You look at his tool set. The guy's a more accurate version of Josh Allen right now. That's literally what he is. Absolute rifle for an arm. Stands in the pocket, can take a licking. You got to understand, too, and Florida born, Kentucky grown will be the first to you're not going to Kentucky and they're not turning you into a ridiculously polished quarterback. He's going to be good, though. I don't think we're gonna draft Bijan Robinson. You're gonna have to probably take in the first round. I don't think we're gonna draft a running back high, but there are guys. I'm just saying, there are guys like Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm just saying. Anyways, I wanted to talk another thing too. Go back and pivot back for a second here when I talked about Skylar. Everyone not giving Skylar a chance. I don't really, I think people are being a little too, you're counting this kid out way too early, I think. There's a lot of people that are just totally even with his arm, I saw people calling him a noodle arm. Guys, a lot of those throws were just timing throws, and he didn't have the timing down with these guys, and that comes from not doing these walkthroughs and these soft practices where you actually can get your timing and anticipation down. Like I've said, you're not going to learn, you're not going to get game speed and windows down, throwing windows down, in walkthroughs and the type of practices we're doing now, the patty cake practices we're doing now. But, you still can do a lot. So, I don't expect as many flags, and I expect him to be a little bit more in sync with guys like Tyreek Hill. And I do think it's been an absolute crime that Jalen Waddle has fallen to the wayside a little bit here. I do think Jalen Waddle is going to get much more involved. So we got a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the new subscription, Marth. Appreciate that. Um, Listen, like I said, I don't expect 400, 300 yards from Skylar, but there's no way to say, there's no evidence to say we can't get a properly game planned, efficient game from him. You know, just take care of the football. Give me 200 yards. Lean off the run. If Raheem Moser can build off what he did last week, and Skylar can take care of the football, and he can also just move the chains on key third downs and such, then we'll be okay. We'll be okay. So I'm not counting the kid out. Let's see what he does with a full week of prep. Like I said, this guy was basically Willie Beeman. I mean, and funny enough for the Miami Sharks, but this was for the Miami Dolphins. You literally reading the paper and they said, "Kid, you're in." I mean, what are you gonna say to the guy? We went over the film. It was evident, right? You saw the one play when we went over the film where we had two dummy fly routes on each side of the field, and he threw it to Sherfield when he had Gesicki on that short in, and then he also had Tyreek on the short out. So underneath, right? So it's a throw underneath. The dummies take the coverage, throw underneath, make something happen. And he didn't even know the play. By throwing to Sherfield, that tells me you didn't even know the play. You didn't even know what we were running. Now we're going to install stuff he's comfortable with. We know he can execute. It's going to be like, you got to remember, the stuff we tailored last week was towards Teddy, not towards Skylar Thompson. And Skylar Thompson is not at a level where you can just expect him to come up and pick up someone else's install and game plan. Just boom. Not going to happen. Not going to happen yet for that kid, all right? Not a lot of guys can do that in year one. So let's cut the kid some slack. Hey, I keep it objective with my quarterbacks. I'm defending Skylar the same way against the unjust and unfair hate that Tua got. One thing you can't say about Reason is I'm inconsistent. I'm as consistent as the sun coming up and going down on a day-by-day basis, all right? So let's be honest here. And it's unfair. It's unfair how this kid's been thrown under the bus off of last week's performance. Stop. For what he had to work with, it was okay, man. It could have been a lot worse. Let's just put it that way. All right? So just cut the kid some slack. That's all I'm going to sit here and say. Let's get into this, though. How about Alaska Reason? Okay, here we go. All right. Okay. Let me put it different. The sun coming up and going down in the Eastern time zone. How's that one for you? Gotcha. All right? Y'all and your semantics. Love y'all, though. All right. Let's get into this. Oh, Robert, we're going to look at how the Vikings defense ranks. I got it all for you. Let's go. Hey, man, when it comes to preview shows, who does it more in depth than your boy Reason? Hey? Nobody. All right? Let's do this. All right? If you're Canadian, you got that. I just want to know. Let's do this. All right? Let's hop right in. So let's start off with the weather, what we can expect. So it's actually going to be cloudy for kickoff, the first quarter and the second quarter. And then after halftime, it's going to clear up and it's going to be quite humid. It's going to feel like 91 by the end of the game, starting off feeling like 92. The humidity is going to be around like 68%. So it's going to be kind of no joke. Y'all out there just living your life. Cloud cover is going to go from 37% all the way down to 28%. Let's hope that cloud cover is on our side of the field and not on theirs. Precipitation probability is very, very low. Listen, if it's going to be a hot one like that, stay hydrated, people. Enjoy your soda pops, but make sure you have a water in between here, all right? In here and there. All right? Make sure you get it done. So, hey, listen. Enjoy your time. Be safe. As always, and let's get a dub for all y'all that are going to be in attendance. I always hope for a dub for all of you guys that are in attendance, because I know spending your hard-earned money, let alone your time, which we all can agree whether you got a family or not is valuable. Last thing you want to see is a bad game. It's one thing to see your team lose in a tough-fought game. It's one thing to see, like, all of you that went to the MetLife game, like, and I'm not even being sarcastic or a joke or anything. Like, literally my heartfelt sympathy, because I know a lot of people came from a lot of different reaches to that game, and to see that, get that kind of display, I feel for you people, man. Spending your hard-earned cash, investing your hard-earned time, man, I feel for you people when that happens. That's the worst thing in the world. I feel it all the time when I travel, you know, same thing when I go to Dolphin games or when I go to Penguin games. I feel the same thing. So, speaking of those Penguins, how about those Penguins yesterday? Woo-wee. Anyways, let's talk about the Penguin on our team. All right? Be safe, guys. Yeah, that Penguin got to get involved this week. You know, we were talking about game planning earlier. I mean, target Edmonds less. If you got to take all the Edmonds targets and put Waddle on the backfield to get him the ball, so be it. Good God Almighty. All right, once again, like previous weeks, literally like last week against the Jets, we have an injury report where it's a mile long for us. And it must be nice for the Vikings because it's super short. Here is your injury report. Tua Tagovailoa is officially out. Kader Kahu is now doubtful with an oblique injury. Oh my God. That means it's a bigger dose of Noah Igbenogany. Lord help us. This is the wrong receiving core. Good God Almighty, Lord help us, please. Say your prayers. If you're into voodoo, go make your Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen dolls and Dalvin Cook dolls and start putting the pins in them, because I know X is going, but we all know X ain't 100%. Now we got no Kader Kahu. Holy, bro. This is not a good situation. This is not a good situation. When Noah inactivity is forced into Noah activity, that is not good. That is not good. This is an injury people should be stressed about. The Kahu injury, we can, listen, after Trill going down, Byron Jones, who I know y'all know I've been hating on since I've been theorizing the whole time, and because I was told it way back, you know, I've been saying for months and months he got that surgery to guarantee his money because we were going to move him and go get J.C. Jackson. And that was the word on the street that Boyer wanted to be reunited with him. And that's why we were sitting on almost $20 million going into this season. That was your J.C. Jackson money. And this clown, you know, Byron Jones has, like, unbelievable, man. This guy's not even ready to. How have you been out this long and you're not even ready to go? You didn't tear your Achilles, bro. And look at the ripple effect. Trill Williams out. Kader Kahu battling. Like, Xavier Howard. These guys we can't afford injuries. Like, we at a point right now where what? Elijah, who's going to be in the slot? Are they going to be shifting Keon Cross into the slot and have Needham and, you know, X on the boundary? Or are you going to go X and Crossing on the boundary with Needham back in his slot position from last year? And then we got no depth if anything happens to these guys. Lord forbid. Anyways, Teddy Bridgewater, who everyone admitted did not have a concussion, somehow is still in protocol, and he's questionable. Elijah Campbell is questionable, but Teddy will go. He was a full participant today. They'll clear him. Raheem Mostert, he was limited for the last 2 days. He's questionable. Durham Smythe, limited the last 2 days. He's questionable. They'll go. I would be, you know, Taron Armstead, I think, is going to try and go. The only thing I think Kader Kahu's going to be out. And then pretty much cleared up. Look at Eric Izakama's back. He had an eye injury. Look at this. Eric Izakama was listed as having an eye injury. We didn't even know about this. We never even heard about this. And now all of a sudden, Eric Izakama shows up in the injury report. The guy had an eye injury. What happened? Did this guy get LASIK? Someone tell me. Explain. I need an explanation on this. But everyone else pretty much full. Is Eric Izakama going to play this week? Please, God, let him play. Please, God. Especially after what we saw Skylar and Izakama do in the preseason. Let's go. People asking how many spotters will be at Hard Rock. From what I hear, spotters are local. So, God forbid Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, or any of those guys take a hit, eh? Yeah. Apparently now I've found out and confirmed with a few people that spotters are local. So those spotters at the Jets game were from New York. The ones that the only people in the stadium who saw Teddy stumble were spotters living in New York. I mean, do I have my tinfoil Dolphins hats here somewhere? I don't know. But, I mean, hey. And Rick Kyle, the ping pong table got removed because they got a new one. Tyreek literally just talked about it. Again, guys, smash that like button. Almost 300 of you in the room. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. How do these teams match up? How do they compare after 5 weeks? Well, first thing I'll say is let's put the context of the comparisons we're about to get into. They've had Cousins the whole time. We've had Tua without him for basically almost the last 2 games. Now about to be 3. On top of that, injuries, all right? So here we go. This is how these teams compare. This is how they stack up. When you look at total offense, they are the 10th ranked offense, 361 yards per game. Look at how the Dolphins are all of a sudden following. They're falling now. The Dolphins, remember, the Dolphins were in the top 10. Now they are 16th, averaging 347.8 yards per game. As a passing offense, the Vikings are the 8th best passing offense, about 259.2 yards per game. In terms of us, we're still up there. Tua was so damn good. We're still top 5 at 265 per game. Rushing offense, now, for a team with, guys like Dalvin Cook and such, not very pretty, right? Dalvin Cook has about 300 he's averaging about 4.6 yards a carry. He's got 373 yards in 81 attempts over 5 games, but they're only, as an offense, averaging about 101.8 yards per game, which is 21st. Again, we're 30th, 82.8 yards per game. Scoring offense. But we are moving up, though. Thank you, Raheem Mostert. Scoring offense, they are tied for 12th. They average about 23 points per game. So do we. We are tied with them. We average about 23 points per game, each team. Now, they've allowed 8 sacks, which is 6th best in the NFL. We've allowed 9. Here's the difference, though. Okay? Last game against the Jets, we allowed 25 pressures, all right? As an offensive unit, we've allowed 62 pressures now in 5 games. Remember, 25 of those came last game, all right? Now, when you look at Minnesota, I apologize. Minnesota's allowed 62 pressures, I apologize. They've allowed 62 pressures. We've allowed 63. We've allowed 1 more pressure, and 25 of those came last game. Now, Greg Little leads the way. He's allowed 16 pressures, 9 hurries, 6 hits, and 1 sack. Liam Eichenberg's allowed 15 pressures, 10 hurries, 3 hits, and 2 sacks for them, though. The guys who have been bad for them are Ed Ingram, who for them is actually their right guard. And also for them, Ezra Cleveland, remember, guy drafted out of Boise State in 2020, who a lot of people liked. A lot of people were fans of him. He hasn't. He's been okay. He's a left guard. He's been a lot of 11 pressures. The stud has been Christian Darrisaw. Darrisaw's only allowed 7 pressures so far this year on 5 hurries and 2 sacks. So Darrisaw and Garrett Bradbury, they don't really give up pressures, but you know, you can get pressures off that right side because Brian O'Neill, the right tackle, they've allowed 27 of their 62 pressures have come off that right side. So, you know, that's what you gotta keep in mind with them too, right? So, but they don't allow sacks. They don't get finished, which is a big thing, clearly. Now continuing on. Shout out to the donation from God's Child. He said, respect and love the show, but I disagree when you say key to winning is run game. Every game we won was because of pass. The game we rushed good, we lost. I'll tell you why. You'll see when I get into the keys to victory for my offense. You know, when we had Tua, that's how we would win. You know, Jeremiah is right, but now we don't have Tua. You know, so we're not gonna win in a pass heavy volume with Skylar right now. We're just not, and it's impossible to think that, and I'll show you why. All right. Anyways, continuing on here. Third down offense. Now they convert 42.9%, 7th best in the NFL. We are falling out. Remember, we were top 10. Now we're falling out of the top 10. We're 40.7% at 12th best. Hey, they got the weapons to execute on third down, and they got the weapons to get them in third and short, right? Now, total defense, they are 24th best. They allow about 369.8 yards per game. We allow 386.8, 25th best. Passing defense, all right? They're 22nd best. They allow 249.4 yards per game. We allow 276.8, which is 28th best. So not much better to brag about, really. And I wanted to say this, too, about their coverage. Guys, they run a ton of zone. Like, they've only been in man coverage about 11% of their snaps. All right? You know, they've had about 195 coverage snaps, and only 22 of those have been in man. Whereas compared to zone, when you look at the actual, about 106 of those have been in zone. So, yeah, they you don't see a lot of man from these guys. This is going to be a zone team, so Skylar's going to have to anticipate the windows and guys running into the open areas. That's how you're going to have to beat this team. You're not going to be able to just blow past these guys. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out, but interesting thing that I wanted to point out to you guys. When you look at their passing defense. Now, rushing defense, they allow about 120.4 yards per game. We allow 110. We're 13th best or 20th best. So, again, Raheem the Dream. Got to lean on Raheem the Dream. Scoring defense. They only allow 20.4 points per game, though. You know, you look at, they allow 369.8 yards per game in total on average. 249.4 on the ground and 249.4 in the air and about 120.4 in the ground. But yet they only give out 20.4 points. So very bend but don't break. Whereas us, hey, 29th, you know, 26.2 points per game. And that really skyrocketed. Thank you to the New York Jets. Really affected that number, right? Ain't no doubt about that one. Now, you know, you will be able to score points on the Vikings, though. I know they're 4-1, and people are all worried, but let's call a spade here, guys. We saw how inept that Bears offense was. All right, they still managed with Chase Edmonds, with Justin Fields. That team still managed to put up 22 points. All right? The Saints, they put up 25 points with Andy Dalton. All right? The Lions, They put up 24 points. The Eagles put up 24 points. The Packers put up 23 points. So, listen. The opportunity is going to be there to put points on the board against them. The opportunity is going to be there. Now, the reason why everything looks so skewed and you're like, oh, reason, but they only allowed 20.4. It's because they only allowed 7 to the Packers in week 1 when Aaron Rodgers had that awful game. Now, sacks. They've got 11 already. And they get pressure, guys. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. They go and they get pressures. Zadarius Smith has 18 pressures on the season already. Okay? Their other edge, DJ Wanham, already has 12 pressures. Dalvin Tomlinson up the middle, 12 pressures. All right? Donnell Hunter already has 10 pressures. They get pressures, ladies and gentlemen. So, it's coming. Whereas, right now, our top pressure guys, Melvin Ingram has 13, Jaelan Phillips has 12, and Emmanuel Ogbah has 11. And then it's Seiler at 8 and Trey Fowler's at 7. So, they're going to be coming, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready. All right? Third down defense, they allow a conversion clip of about 36.2%, which is 13th best. We allow 49.2%, which is 30th best, which is very worrisome when their third down offense converts at a 42.9% clip. Takeaways, 7th best are the Vikings. 13th best are the Vikings. They have 7. We only have 4, which is 26th. Guys, Xavier Howard. I mean, are we going to have a conversation right now? And I know he's been battling injury bugs this season and last season. I get it. He's working through them. He's playing through them. And we're getting a healthy Xavier Howard. Listen, you are not going to hear anything about that. But I want to hit y'all with something that I saw today and kind of, it threw me back when I saw this about Xavier Howard. I want people to look at his interceptions. All right? And listen, we know no one's going to argue that this man is one of the best ball hawks in football. No one's going to argue it. But, guys, I want you to think about this for a second. Doesn't have an interception yet this year. Right? Doesn't have an interception yet this year. Also, let's also remember this. He only has 1 interception since week 13 against the Giants last year. So that's in his last 8 games, Xavier Howard has 1 interception. And it was week 18 against the Patriots. And then you got to go back to the Giants in week 13 to find his another interception. So, we're going to need better than that. And even you remember that game early on this season where he dropped that, should have been a pick 6. Should have been a pick 6 and he dropped it. So, yeah. And then giveaways, both teams have only given the ball away 6 times. So, man, when you look at how these teams stack up, the pressures, we need a big pick, X. We need a big pick at a big time this weekend from you. All right? Let's get into my keys to victory offensively and defensively for the Miami Dolphins this weekend. As usual, let's start off with the offense. This is where I got him at. Here's my 3 keys to victory. Protect Skylar. Listen, there ain't no 25 pressures you can allow like last week against the Jets. All right, now this is a Vikings team that's got some guys who can get after it. All right? Period. All right, Zadarius Smith can get after it. Jordan Hicks can get after it. Daniel Hunter can get after it. Dalvin Tomlinson can get after it. These guys can get it done. DJ Wonnum can get after it. You're going to have to protect the quarterback. You're going to have to keep him upright. You know, we look at Chase Edmonds with his drop last week. We look at the offensive line. Too many veterans on our team weren't doing enough favors for the rookie. They weren't putting him in a position to be successful. You got to help out Skylar. Number 2 is lean on Raheem. Simple. Lean on Raheem. Lean on the dream. This man is coming off an absolutely fantastic performance. Absolutely fantastic performance. And you got to keep him doing his damn thing. You got to let him be him. He can build off that 18 carry, 113, 1 touchdown showing he just had. Remember, this guy's returning from injury. He's just getting his legs back under him. He's just getting his wheels. You look at over the last 2 games. Against Cincinnati, he averaged 4.6 yards per carry. This past game, he averaged 6.3 yards per carry. Against Baltimore, he averaged 4.6 yards per carry. Give him the ball. Let him get his chances. Him and Gaskin are the way to go. Raheem is the guy. And you know what the best thing is about... Check this out. You want to hear something? Last week, he had 85 yards after contact. The week before that, 42. Last week, he averaged 4.72 yards after contact per attempt. All right? And the week before that, he averaged 2.80. I mean, the guy bounces off. Let him do his thing. Let him do his thing. Let him be the guy. Lean on him. Please. So, yeah. Lean on Raheem. Don't know what else to say. Number 3, you got to get Waddle back involved. I mean, what's going on here, guys? I mean, let's have a conversation right now. What's going on here? All right? People tried to tell all of us that Waddle was Tua's safety blanket, and I'm here to tell you, was Tua Waddle's safety blanket? Is that what we're actually dealing with? Because this man has gone from games of 69 yards, 171 yards, and 102 yards to 39 against Cincinnati and 23 against the Jets. And what's the common denominator? No Tua. None. And his targets have absolutely plummeted. Well, sorry, they haven't plugged it. His receptions. So, he's been stuck at 5 targets for 3 weeks. He had 19 targets against Baltimore. The reason he only had 5 targets against Buffalo with Tua was because they had 102 yards. And we didn't have the ball a lot against Buffalo. But against Cincinnati and New York, he only had 3 targets against the Jets and 5 targets against Cincinnati. That is unacceptable with that kind of talent. And him and Hill feed off of each other. And this offense feeds off of them. Get Waddle going. Please, for the love of God. All right. Now, with all that said, let's go ahead. Let's now look at the defensive keys to victory for the Miami Dolphins, and the first one should be, I mean, this should be as obvious as anything. Someone needs to step up and contain Justin Jefferson. I mean, if it's an injured X, cool. I mean, if it's Keon Crossan, great. He's going to get his, but we're not about to. You cannot allow these explosive plays you've allowed to Breece Hall and such against this team right now. With Skylar at the helm, we're not built to come from behind. We are more back into last year's mode, right? So we're not built to come from behind like that. So someone needs to step up and contain Justin Jefferson. Plain and simple. I mean, because the kid is getting it done. He already has 547 yards. All right? Like, he is nothing to play with right now. He's averaging just under 14 yards per reception. All right? He's coming off a 154-yard game against Chicago, a 147-yard game against New Orleans, and he started the season off with 184 yards against Green Bay. Oh, did I mention they got Adam Thielen? Oh, did I mention KJ Osborne's pretty good? Oh, did I mention they got another burner in Jaelan Reagor? Team's got talent. And it all starts with Justin Jefferson, who I think might be arguably, he's in the conversation. I think him, Diggs, and Tyreek are the best in the NFL right now. Just saying. And Devontae Adams in that conversation too. But those four are the best right now, I think. Pass rush needs to finish the job. Listen, I went over the numbers with you guys. All right. What there more to say? Listen, you're not getting there enough. That's just where we're at. It's nice. Ingram has 13 pressures and he's turned them into plays. But Phillips, you have 12 pressures. Most of those are hurries. You have 10 hurries. Emmanuel Ogbah has 11, and 5 of them are QB hits and 5 of them are hurries. So, listen, Phillips, we got to start turning, and I feel like I'm turning into a broken record. No more almost. Almost is only good enough in handgun. Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. I'm not trying to hear it. Ain't trying to hear it. So, this pass rush needs to finish the job, man. And especially now that we're dealing with even more injuries, we need to get these guys in third and long and such. And listen, I like the wording of this one. Don't let Dalvin cook. Please, please, please. Y'all just let Breece Hall put up 197 of the 324 yards that Jets offense totaled. Please, God. Do not let this man cook. He's coming off a 94-yard performance against Chicago on 18 carries. He had 96 on 17 carries against Detroit. He had 90 on 20 against Green Bay. I mean, he's averaging 4.6 yards per rush. He's gotten the end zone already 3 times. They are feeding him. They've given him the 8th most attempts in the NFL. So please don't let this be the game where he pops off for 120, 130 yards. You got to get that job done. You cannot like Dalvin Cook. You just can't. Then you're not going to stand a chance with the weapons they already have. I mean, listen, everyone wants to crap on Kirk Cousins, but you let Dalvin Cook get going, y'all ain't going to be crapping on Kirk Cousins when he dices us up. I'll tell you all that much. Now, I had a really tough time with the player matchup to watch this week, guys. I mean, I could have gone Justin Jefferson versus Xavier Howard. I could have gone Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, their weapons, against, our defense. There's so many, I could have done Skylar versus the Skylar versus the Vikings defense. But when I come to a point where I got all these different matchups I got to account for, the matchup for me that's going to mean the most, and that comes down to it, especially when you look at the adversity surrounding the team right now, it's got to be Mike McDaniel versus Kevin O'Connell. Two rookie head coaches. I mean, that to me, that's got to be the matchup to watch right now. Who's going to outcoach who? Because I think whoever staff does a better job, you're going to be pretty much good. And remember, these are two offensive-minded guys too, right? McDaniel coming up in the Shanahan tree. Kevin O'Connell, former quarterback. So this is my matchup to watch. When I look at this, who is going to win this battle? Whose staff is going to outcoach whose staff? Whose players are going to want him more than whose players? Who's going to motivate their guys more than the other guys? Mike McDaniel versus Kevin O'Connell is my player matchup to watch. It just makes sense when you look at, hey, I could have Justin Jefferson versus Xavier Howard. I could have their weapons versus our defense. I could have Skylar versus... There's just so many matchups that matter in this game that it's going to come down to coaching and execution. That's what it's going to come down to. That's what it's going to come down to. How well did you prepare Skylar Thompson for this defense? Right? We're going to find out. We are going to find out. So that's my matchup to watch. I think it makes a ton of sense when you look at it. When we look at all the questions, you take a step back and reflect. I think that makes a lot of sense. So which first-year coach is going to outwork the other guy, outproduce the other guy with his team? So, All right, continuing on. Fresh six-pack of notes from Barry Jackson, best in the biz. You already know what time it is. Let's get into it. Quarterbacks Tua Tagovailoa and Teddy Bridgewater were full participants on Friday's practice encouragement signs as they worked their way through concussion protocol. Neither has yet exited the 5-phase protocol, an NFL official confirmed, but Friday was the first time that either QB practiced fully since entering protocol. Bridgewater was listed as questionable for Sunday's game. Tagovailoa was ruled out. If Bridgewater, who also has a pectoral injury, clears protocol by Sunday, he will back up Skylar Thompson on Sunday against Minnesota, according to Mike McDaniel. So that's another thing why they're probably keeping him out, is Bridgewater's pectoral injury as well, right? Bridgewater if he doesn't clear protocol, then that means Reed Sinnett would be elevated. Oh my Lord. And he would back up Thompson. Kadir Kahu is doubtful for Sunday with an oblique injury. Tagovailoa and Kahu are the only two Dolphins on the 53-man roster who are listed as out or doubtful. Taron Armstead was listed as questionable for Sunday's game. He hasn't practiced in a month, but had played through his toe injury before departing after 8 snaps in the Jets game last Sunday. He spotted in the locker room on Friday and seemed to be walking around fine, but is off limits to reporters because he's not practicing. Greg Little said he took snaps at right tackle, where he has started the past 4 weeks, and left tackle in practice this week. If Armstead cannot play, Little would likely play one tackle spot at practice squad, and practice squad Shell would play the other. So no Austin Jackson, as he was not spotted at practice on Friday and doesn't appear ready to come off injured reserve. He has missed 4 weeks with an ankle injury. Durham Smythe, who has been dealing with a hamstring, also listed as questionable and could be a game-time decision. I haven't dealt with one in 7 or 8 years, dating back to college, Smythe said of his hamstring injury. I definitely feel good, but it's one of those things that you have to be able to trust it. Walking around day-to-day basis, it feels good. We'll take it up to Sunday and see how it feels then, test it out, and hopefully we'll be good to go. Raheem Mostert was listed as questionable, but said on Thursday he will play on Sunday. Elijah Campbell, who plays safety and corner, was the 5th Dolphin listed as questionable. Smythe, Mostert, and Campbell were limited in Friday's practice. Xavier Howard, who missed the Jets game with a groin injury, is no longer on the injury report and will play Sunday. With Kahoot doubtful, the Dolphins likely would have Noah Benogany, Keon Cross, and backup Howard, and Nick Needham at cornerback. There is no visual evidence that Bridgewater showed ataxia or stumbled against the Jets, even though an upstairs spotter said otherwise, essentially sidelining Bridgewater for 2 games. But under the new NFL concussion protocol rules, the spotter who sees the alleged stumble isn't required to prove it to the Dolphins medical staff or the on-site independent neurologist, even though all of them have access to the same video. The NFL has declined to comment on the matter. The Dolphins, as an organization and as individual players, have chosen not to make an issue of it for seemingly multiple good reasons. Complaining wouldn't have accomplished anything. The Dolphins certainly don't want to give the impression that they're against anything designed to promote player safety. And 3, the Dolphins don't want to say anything that would imply lack of confidence in Thompson because they have confidence in the rookie quarterback. But the Dolphins do not believe Bridgewater stumbled. I spoke with Smythe, who was always thoughtful in his responses about the fact that only South Florida media and Dolphin fans seem skeptical about Bridgewater being ruled out. National media hasn't shown any interest in the same story. You look back on it through video that we all saw after the game, and there are questions that come up. Smythe said Friday, but we can't go back in time and say what if he played the whole game and things of that nature. We all saw the video. We saw there didn't seem to be a stumble or anything of that nature. There's nothing we can do about it now. I said Sunday that we have faith in all of our quarterbacks, including Skylar. I thought he did a great job coming in without a lot of reps during practice, being a rookie 7th-round pick. Not a single Dolphins player has reacted angrily in a public way to Bridgewater being ruled out, and Smythe explained that from his perspective and also offered a sensible view of how the new rule, which gives considerable authority to a spotter, can be modified. I think the intention of the rule is good, and that's one of the reasons why I wasn't completely furious about something like that. The intention is to keep the players safe in a risky, dangerous game, but with any rule that's new, there are going to be tweaks that could be made. I appreciate the intentions of the rule, but as we move along through the process, there are definitely tweaks that can be made, maybe to make it a collective effort instead of one person. I'm confident they'll work it out. After a breakout season for the Cowboys last year, Cedric Wilson has only 7 targets and 4 catches for 40 yards in 4 games as a Dolphin, having missed 1 with an injury. Last season, he had 45 catches for 602 yards and 6 touchdowns. Asked if the Dolphins need to get him involved more, Frank Smith, the Dolphins offensive coordinator, said, "We're trying to make sure we're getting guys in a position to do what they do well and see how the game pans out. Great offenses push the ball around as much as they can." Wilson signed a 3-year, $22.8 million deal. $12.75 million of that was guaranteed with the Dolphins 9 days before the Dolphins did trade for Tyreek Hill. The acquisition of the All-Pro Hill obviously is one factor for the modest touches for Wilson and tight end Mike Gesicki, who has 9 catches and 12 targets for 101 yards. Hill gave a thoughtful answer this week when asked if he has given any consideration to potentially being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame someday. His numbers would seem to put him on course for that. I really haven't thought about any of that at this point in my career. Already accomplished everything that I basically wanted to accomplish. A small-town kid, 5th-round pick. And I'm able to be that role model for so many kids around the world. But most importantly, I'm able to be a role model for kids back in my hometown who probably don't even believe in themselves, but they get a chance to look at me from the same city, same dream, as a role model. For me, man, that right there is a part of my blessing every day. And that's really why I play football. I'm really blessed to have this platform that I'm able to perform at. I thank God for it each and every morning. I'm able to wake up, provide for my family, provide for my kids. And man, if I'm blessed to go to Canton, I'll be very thankful for it. If not, I'm just happy to be able to play this great sport. I grew up jumping on a trampoline. Imagine I was jumping over Randy Moss as a kid. Now I'm here. The Dolphins say they have only begun to scratch the surface on what they can do with fullback Alec Ingold. I'm like a kid in a candy shop, he said. I'm excited about going into meetings and new plays being installed. That's the reason I'm here. He said with past teams, there were around 10 plays where he had a center role. Now it's 20 to 30. So, hey, man, just catch the football, Alec, and we'll be all good because you do all the little things elite, and we love you, bro. We love you, and man, I actually want I want a Alec Ingold jersey. I'm not even gonna front. Guys, I wanted to show it for your own eyes so you just don't hear it. Jaelan Phillips and his pass rush win rate. He's number 2 in the NFL right now. He's winning 38% of his pass rushes. He's just not finishing it off. And that could be the ball getting out early, et cetera, et cetera. So, guys, it's going to come. Keep the faith. Keep the faith in Jaelan Phillips. It's going to come. It's coming, guys. He's got the second best pass rush win rate as an edge defender in the NFL. Oh, sorry. One run stop win rate. I apologize. That's his one run stop win rate. That was my bad. He's got the second highest run stop win rate in the NFL. Now, in terms of, we'll show you guys. We'll go back to this. We'll show you guys. I'll bring up his pass rush win rate for you guys. I had it and then I got rid of it. Let me bring it up for y'all here. Give me 1 sec, guys. It is. Here we go. All right. Now, in terms of pass rush win rate, I apologize. Guys, he's still getting it done. Like, people need to realize this guy is he is not falling off the map hard. Now, he actually fell out just outside of the top 10 this past week, so now he's in the top 15. But look at this. As a run stop defender right now, 38%. 38%. And look at Ogba. Where are you at? Right? Ogba's not in the top 15 of pass rush win rate or run stop win rate. So he's getting it done. He's getting it done, man. So I wanted to show y'all guys that. And then finally, too, I do got one more thing I want to show you guys before we get out of here. A little hope. A little hope. There's always some hope to go around for you guys, okay? There's always some hope. Here's a stat for you guys to hang your hat on for this weekend. The Vikings are 8-2 in games against QBs in their first ever start. So there you go. It's technically the first ever start of Skylar Thompson. And like winning and losing, we got a 50-50 chance, baby, based off of what their record is even. So there's a stat to excite you guys. We got a 50-50 chance, ladies and gentlemen. Juggernaut says they're about to be 8-9-2. Well, hey, let's get it done, baby. Let's get it done. I'm right there with you. Hey, I had us losing this game with Tua. I'm flipping. We need to win this game whether Tua plays or not. Like, screw me and what I say. You know what I mean? So, get away from me. Don't listen to me and what I say. Now, how do I think this is going to go? I think it's actually going to be, I see people out here claiming it's going to be a blowout and just giving the worst. I actually don't think it's going to be that bad. For me, this is how I see it going. I think we're going to lose 24-16. Yep, I think we're going to come out of it 500, but I think we're going to put up a fight. You know? Jason Sanders, I got him kicking 3 field goals, so I must really be on something right now, eh? But yeah, I got us 24-16. We're losing. I don't know how I see us winning this game, guys. I really don't. I mean, we're going to need a lot of stuff to go right. We're going to need to get to Kirk Cousins, him have an off day, contain their weapons, and we're going to need Skylar to protect the football, and we're going to need to run the football down their throats, keep their offense off while scoring on our drives. So, listen, we got the heat on our side. Everyone, hey, if you're a Bills fan watching, hey, we're saying our prayers to Ra, the sun god, right now. That let's see if the sun really does help us, because we're gonna need it this week. That's for sure. We're gonna need all the help we can get. So, and we need to be motivated. I know Denisha said we're going into this game pissed off. Man, we better be playing pissed off with how the NFL has treated us, how the last couple of weeks have gone. We got to turn this around. We got to turn it around quick. So, and again, you got 7 days to prepare this kid. I know they can put together a game plan that's predicated, get the ball moving on the ground, play action, predicate the pass off the run, let him do his thing. Please. It's not hard. Guys, please also, if you have the chance, go check out the store at our shop at finsidethenfl.com. We got tees, new designs always coming. We got tees. We got all the knick-knack stuff, from mugs to mouse pads to backpacks to hats, everything. And it's hoodie season, baby. It's October. We are entering hoodie season. So go get your hoodies, man. Go get your hoodies. These designs are for Dolphin fans, not just for Finside the NFL fans. Best, I think, merch shop in the game from a content creator. Go check them out. FinsideTheNFL.com. Go check it out. Go show some love. Appreciate all of y'all. I am going to be live on Sunday, live reacting to the game. As always, we'll be live before it starts, about 12:45. I'll be live. And we'll be getting it going, baby. We'll be getting it rolling. Listen, I appreciate all of y'all for spending some of your Friday night with me. Hey, onward and upward from here, right? Let's go get that W. I don't know how. I just believe. Let's go get it, baby. All right? Fins up. I appreciate all of y'all. Have a fantastic rest of your evening. Have a fantastic Saturday. I'll see y'all right back here on Sunday for the live reaction and as well the post-game show. Until next time, you already know what time it is, baby. Fins up all day, every day. 4-2 is on the way, baby. See y'all next time. Take it easy, guys.